Yay! Perfect. Yay, it's streaming. I'm very, very happy about this. Hang on a sec. Chat. I'm in the wrong window. Am I in the wrong window? Yes, no, I'm in the right window. I'm in the correct window. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the chat. So the first thing I want to do is deliver on the promise that the thumbnail and the title gave you. 3 days ago, as I record this and as this live stream is taking place, we had the Apple event, the annual Apple announcement keynote event, where the iPhone 15 was debuted. We are going to be talking heavily about that in this podcast because, podcast, live stream, whatever, because we got a question, actually, pertaining to iPhone filmmaking specifically. We're going to get to that in the Q&A portion later, but I just wanted to make sure that if you clicked on this in the future times or whatever, because you saw the thumbnail and because you read the title, I will be delivering the goods. The chat, if you're in a hurry, chapter markers are below waiting for you, and if not, then please enjoy the rest of the stream because that's what we do here. So I hope my microphone is working. Chat, I'm going to test the chat through OBS because, as you could probably tell, I changed my stream setup a little bit. I learned OBS, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about unboxing and all the things later. But yeah, so I hope that chat is working and all the things are working. I don't know what's going on. We'll ride this wave together, okay, everybody? Here, hi, chat. Send. Let's see if that works. And then here. Oh, it totally works. I'm so proud. So now you can see it. So I sent you guys a message. Hi, chat. Okay, I'm going to change back to the... Is the audio sound a little robotic or echoey for anybody else? Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. Hang on a sec. I was trying to... Hang on a sec. Is that better? Hi. Hi, Billy Joseph Jr. Is the audio better? Trevor? Yeah, sorry, I should probably keep on talking to test the audio out. Yeah, we're still learning some growing pains. So inside this thing, I hooked up the Yeti, but there was a little bit of a time delay echo for some of these things. Is it better now? Okay, well, I'm just going to keep writing. Okay, so let me go through the slides with you, and I have this prepared for you, except right here. So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. I am so proud of the transitions. I'm very, very geeky about this. Okay, so yay, that fixed it. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. We're coming up to the announcement pertaining to you in a minute. I'm so glad everybody's here. So, good. So announcements, we're going to do the questions and we're going to do the wrap up, obviously, but very small wrap up. I don't like to waste people's time. So we're going to start with some pretty awesome announcements, and I'll have more big announcements coming up too, but I want to handle a couple questions and I'll intersperse it as I play along. So announcements. Number one, the channel just recently passed 100,000 views. I just can't even I don't know how I can thank all of you guys for all those wonderful views and all the nice comments that have been coming in. A lot of it has been through the shorts that I've been putting up. A lot of people have been having fun with my little brain children, and I'm just so happy. I'm going to keep on going because I really like the writing and the acting portion of filmmaking. So that's where I get to play. And I'm going to be debuting a few more videos. I've got 2 in the editing bay, one that I'm editing and one that I outsource to another editor, and those will be coming forthwith. Another announcement. I'm going to transition back to this. Another announcement is that we're almost at 300 subscribers, which is also equally wonderful and insane and great. Like as of today, it was like 285 or something like that. I'm humbled and I'm grateful that you're all here. I love that you guys are vibing with the content, with what we're putting out, and with the filmmaking stuff in general. I've got blogs and stuff coming about filmmaking, BTS, and other stuff. And there's another announcement coming later. I'm waiting on a couple other people that are going to be part of the announcement to show up in chat. Tony, if you're here, drop something in the chat so that I can see you. And for now, I'm going to jump right into the questions because I know the iPhone people are definitely waiting to hear what I've got going on over there. So I am going to jump back here, and I'm going to, all right, the first question that I got from Discord was NicholasB submitted a question, said, well, I'm considering jumping into filmmaking again, and now I'm looking into using iPhones, maybe something to do with iPhones. He wants to talk about options for the lenses, apps, external audio options like that, etc. And then he follows up by saying, my question would be specifically in regards to, say, the Sandmark anamorphic 1.33 lens. Would you keep that and change the focal length via the app, or would it be best to change the lens to a telephoto lens or macro and then have the app to match the aspect ratio and see what the anamorphic frame was? But I'd be interested in whatever tips you have for sure. Thanks. Thank you, Nicholas, for the question, specifically this one. Now, I have a lot of thoughts, and especially since the keynote just happened, let's talk about the iPhone specifically. I'm going to take you guys to this section. Oh, look how prepared I am. And we will go through, iPhone just dropped some serious upgrades to the camera. Now, I have been an iPhone user for several years now. My husband, who's in the chat, he got me into it, and and I've been in love with the entire phone structure just by itself. Like the ecosystem, I'm very happy there. They just debuted the iPhone 15 Pro, and finally the camera is doing even more amazing things, such that the filmmakers really should start turning their heads in this direction. So a lot of the pain points that filmmakers have had with phones in general is that, it doesn't record in S-Log, or the color profile, or the color temperatures, or the post-processing software is not up to speed, so you can't really get a good look at it. And there have been apps that have been coming up, which is what Nicholas was talking about, in terms of like using peripheral apps, peripheral lenses, peripheral gear. When you're talking about the theory of using any kind of camera body, right now I'm on the Sony. So for the Sony, I've got the Sony lens, I've got the Sony batteries, I've got all the peripherals that I need to make this function. I'm using it currently as a streaming tool. You have to know what you're going to use the tool for. So to answer his question, let's talk about the tool itself. Let's just dive right in. Let's see what this beautiful thing can do. First off, yes, the body is very sturdy, and that's exciting. But if we're talking about like filmmaker excitement, then we're gonna be more reasonably excited about the processing speed, and we're gonna be reasonably excited about what the camera can do. I remember sitting on the couch when several keynotes ago, like this is many moons ago, and thinking to myself, oh wow, the camera got another upgrade. Now I can do 1280p at 24 frames per second. That's really, really nice. And I knew the trajectory that this was going to take several years, but it would finally reach the point where you can look at this phone as a concrete filmmaking tool, like as a really competitive filmmaking tool. And already there have been phones on iPhone 11, iPhone 13, iPhone 14. There have been films made just using the iPhone. You can use apps like Filmic Pro right now to get granular with the depth perception. Sorry, the depth fields. Help me out, chat. You know what I'm going for. The depth of field, you can go granular about the color temperatures, you can set the white balance, you can set the focal points inside those apps. But Apple has been paying attention, and now they're starting to program those features into the native app. Already you can take photos in RAW. That's already wonderful for photographers out there. They can use this as a photography tool right now, today, and many have been. The next step, of course, in the evolutionary process would be that it starts to take in more information for filmmakers. iPhone 15 is going to be able to take to store data as an S-Log, which makes it amazing for changing the colors in post. Already you can take incredibly high resolution, high fidelity video with this at 24, 30, and now 60 frames per second. And guess what? It's in 4K. 4K at 60 frames per second is going to be in this phone, in the Pro Max, which is exactly what I'm going to get. I'm going to get the higher. I'm going to get the higher version. You now have, this one blew me away. This is my favorite, I think. You have basically what amounts to 8 lenses on this. The 24, 28, 35, 48, and 120 telephoto lens. They developed different technology to like a tetrahedral design so that the light bounces inside the sensor. And all of this is in 4K. Let's talk about that for a second. Because Nicholas, I think your question is going to be more curbed to getting the new phone and seeing what it natively can do. Because I think some of those anamorphic lenses and all the peripherals that you're talking about, now you're getting into the window dressing of whatever project you're doing. Now you're getting into the bells and whistles features. This has amazing native internal stabilization, which means it won't be shaky camera. Do you want to get a gimbal? Try it out and see. Do you want to get peripheral lenses on the top, given that this natively will be able to do a lot from macro photography all the way to a telephoto lens? Like, are you sure you want to buy those extra tools before you test it out of the box? Because these upgrades they're undeniable. I'm very excited about this. The 48 megapixel main camera, I mean, that's a lot of megapixels. Like, talk about, even from a photography standpoint, imagine being able to take a giant, like a really wider picture, landscape, clean plate for filmmaking, where you don't have to manipulate the data or use AI to expand the features, because you can zoom into the pieces that you want to keep, use them as backgrounds for whatever film project you're doing, just natively, without having to generate stuff or collect other stuff and then put it into your project, and you spend more time in post. 48 megapixels is nothing to sniff at. Like, look at this zoom. I'm very excited about this. Look at this. Boop. I can't change it, but I can replay it. Here you go. Whoop. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you can reframe it to whatever you want. Okay, and yes, and the other features are very exciting, like from an iPhone user point of view. Yes, you can even use this. You can even set the action button to jump into the photo app, to the native photo app, and start filming right away. If you have like this amazing, hey, look, there's a bird flying over this water, it's going to be amazing in my movie, but I can't catch it in time. Well, yes, you can. Yes, you can with iPhone 15. So it's just great. The battery life is unbelievable. So you don't have like a Blackmagic situation where you need to recharge your batteries every 5 seconds. You can just grab and go for a full day of shooting. You can turn it off in between if you want to. The connectivity is really good because it's going to be on a USB-C charger, which means that you can hook it up to an SSD. Sorry for the scrambling noise, but you can hook it up to an SSD like right away and just grab and go. Grab your footage, put it onto your computer right away. I mean, these features are going to be insane to the membrane. Or you can record it natively on your phone and then transfer it with a direct connection like it's seen here. Guys, filmmakers, wake up. Wake up, bro. I heard you like filmmaking gear. Look at the one in your pocket. It's unbelievable. It's about to get crazy. I remember sitting on the couch and thinking to myself, I just remember thinking to myself, like, man, I can't wait for the camera to be really awesome. Now, on top of that, what else you've got? Hi, yeah, yes, somebody's dropping hints. Sorry, I'm just catching up. This is Tony, you're funny. Sorry, I'm just catching up on chat. Let me load chat for you guys. Me and chat. You guys are funny. Yep, that fixed it. And then yeah, this is my swamp. Yes. Oh, I love it. Yes, Wolfman, come in. I just wanted to finish up my conversation about Right? Yes, Billy, that's right? I mean, your phone is going to be like an awesome filmmaking tool that you can play around with, and maybe you'll get the bug and you'll be like, ooh, I want to do more filmmaking. You can literally make a pretty solid film, start to finish, just on your, just using the phone in your pocket. This is your camera. This is everything you need. Baller, right? I'm very, very excited. I can't wait. I'm literally ordering the phone this week. Pre-orders start Friday. Oh, dang. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow as I record this. And next week, I should have it in my hot little hands. And I will be doing an unboxing video. And I will be doing a film review for those of you that are interested. Stick around and come back for that, because I'm very excited to get my hands on these tools. I'm going to test out the S-Log because I do know a little something about coloring and color grading footage. And I'm going to be checking out the slow motion because I'm dying to see what 4K 60 frames per second looks like. I imagine that the next evolution might even be further. You know, like, I don't see that why this is the road stop. Like, why is this the ending of the destination? It's not. It's going to keep going. Like, 120 frames per second at 4K is probably the next step. We'll see, right? So you can get ultra slow-mo, but it's already a competitive, like this X marks the spot. This is a competitive filmmaking tool. So yes, do you want to, to answer Nicholas's, hush you. Speaking of interloper, do you want to get peripherals? Yes. I mean, that's up to you. Whatever filmmaking projects you're doing. Maybe you do a lot of like skateboarding videos. Maybe you do need a gimbal. Maybe you do need some of these mounts for your tripods now. Maybe you do need extra batteries, extra lighting sources that are just fitted for iPhone. That's up to you. If you play around with what's in the box and you decide that you have a need, that's when you go shopping. That's when you go and say, okay, this is the problem that I have that I'm trying to solve. Let's see if there's a solution for it. But I wouldn't say like, oh, let's go get this list of gear preemptively. Start at square one. Start with what's in the box, and then buy from whatever you want to go from there. You know, just take it to the next step there. So, Nicholas, I want to thank you again for your question. Let's go back to the slides. Thank you again, Nicholas, for your question. That was a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to talk more about this. I mean, like, just you're not horsing around. You've got 48 megapixels in RAW that you can take for photography and use it in your filmmaking, for clean plates, for backgrounds, for green screen backdrops, for whatever you want. I mean, you've got 8 lenses that are native. I cannot. If it looks good in low, it already has pretty decent low light and highlight level performance. You've got the S-Log profile for color grading for in post. I mean, that's, and then 4K 60 frames per second. I called it years ago. I called 4K 60 frames per second years ago, and it's here. Today is like, it's here. It's Christmas. Okay. So yeah. Okay. I just can't even. I'm gonna check back in with chat, and yeah. Thank you again, Nicholas, for your questions. So now I'm gonna jump back into announcements, and I am gonna set up a drum roll. Everybody in chat, do a drum roll, because this is a big one. I have been keeping my hat, the lid on my hat for several months now. I think since February. So I met a very nice young fella named Tony Rick on the Facebooks of all places, and filmmaker to filmmaker, he just struck me as a wonderful, creative, enthusiastic, energetic, drumroll, happy, driven, imaginative person. And so I was like, yeah, let's collaborate. What have you got? And he says, I have a script. And I said, oh, really? So we have been working on this project. It is a first feature film project for me. I have literally done shorts for as long as I can remember. I've been writing. He is a strange guy. John. But we are working on a project. And not only that, but I helped him name his company, or his brand, I should say, Rick Roaring Films, which, how could you not have a name like Rick and just ride that wave? Like, let's go. And here we go. So I want to present to you the premiere poster for Rick's first film, the Rick Roaring Films debut feature film, creature feature called Wolf Boy. The Wolf Boy, I stand corrected, is said in the title right there. Blah, 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 blah. So, The Wolf Boy. Oh, Riley, what is your last name? I want to give you good credits. Where are you, Riley? Riley, are you in chat? But we love him. Yes, we do. John, yes, we do. Where's Riley? Hang on. Riley Demarest. I've never had to say it out loud before. Riley Demarest did the art for the poster. She is also going to be doing the storyboards. She's been working with Rick on the storyboards already. A lot of the casting is done. I'm just going to be chatting, swapping back and forth between chat and Wolf Boy. I am so... It didn't pop up? What do you mean it didn't pop up? It didn't pop up? John says it didn't pop up. What didn't pop up? You don't see the Wolf Boy poster? Boop. Wolf Boy poster? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, John, yeah, leave a comment when you want. So, Wolf Boy is going to be a creature feature. I'm not giving anything away. The script has a lot of heart, but it's definitely following the creature feature mentality. So if you're into those old-timey horror films, if you're into films of the black and white era, and there you go. If you're into like Mystery Theater 3000 stuff, if you've seen and you like Michael Giacchino's debut of Werewolf by Night, that is of the spirit of this film. And Andrew August is going to be the director. Let's swap back to chat. Andrew August, love that. It is a baller poster, right? Riley did an amazing job. Too bad she's not here to collect her accolades. Yeah. So Riley did an amazing job. She's going to be doing some more art for us. We're launching a fundraiser for the film next month, all the month of October. And then at the end of the month, we're throwing a party. We are having a giant The Wolf Boy party. And I will leave a link in the description because the venue is locked. The locations are locked and we're still finalizing a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's happening. Save the date, October 28th. If you're in the Boston area, you are invited, and the ticket price covers food, drink, and all the entertainment you can literally stand, including Rick dressed up as Wolf Boy, walking around taking pictures with everybody. So it's going to be a great time. And I just... Hi, Andrew. Andrew, tell me a little bit about how you're excited for the film. I'm going to interview you for the channel later, but just drop a quick comment and tell us what you're most excited about for this project. And Tony, you do the same thing because you guys have put a crazy amount of work into this project already in the last, half a year that we've all been working together. And I'm really excited to see where it's going and all the wonderful things. So yeah, I mean, chat's where it's at. So tell me what your favorite things about the creature feature are going to be. And for me, I also have another announcement, which is that I am going to be DP on this project. I am excited beyond words. I have been doing a lot of homework and research and creative noodling and brainstorming about all the various shots in the film. Andrew, Tony, and I got together recently to work on the shot list. We came up with some amazing shots. I don't know how we're going to pull them off. I'm kidding, I do. It's going to be a really fun time, and I'm really looking forward to working on this project. So that's really it. Our first debut film is going to be The Wolf Boy, and That's a great question. John asks a wonderful question. Will it be black and white? And we're talking about it. We're really strongly considering it, but we also really love this. So if you take a look at the art, meeting everyone and all the creative people. Yup, Tony, you've got it right. Collaborating on film is like one of the best things that ever is. All the people that I've met so far, and I haven't even met the rest of the cast yet. So it's just been wonderful. Everybody is like a mind at work, creative and happy to be there and energetic and enthusiastic about the project and about what this whole thing is going to look like at the end. It's just going to be a really fun thing. And Andrew chimes in with the visual style is going to be very fun and artistic process that I'm super excited for. I'm also excited to work with all the amazing talent we cast for the film. Yeah, I can't wait to meet all the cast. Yay! Oh, hey, Billy, nice to meet you. Billy's in the film, so this is wonderful. Can't wait to party and meet everybody. Yes, so that is going to be a very fun time. Yes, as much as the cast and crew is going to be at that party on October 28th. So if you're in the Boston area, nab yourself a ticket and come party with us because we're going to have a really fun time. And by the way, the venue that we picked has really good food, like good food. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. And of course, like we're paying for it. So just come and play with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about if I'm going to answer the same question, hello. If I'm going to answer the same question, is it going to be in black and white? To be honest, I think probably not. Tony, Rick, finalize it with us right here, right now, live on chat. Finalize it with us and let me know. We were considering it, but I really think that we're leaning into this kind of color scheme. Not cartoonish. It's not going to be a cartoony thing, but I really think it's going to be leaning into the Pleasantville era of the 1960s in which it takes place. So I think we're going to keep it in color, but Tony and Andrew, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're going to stay with colors. My wife has been costume shopping, like she has the money to do so. Tell her to call me. We have a lot to talk about. For one of my short films, I literally won. I got nominated for best costumes, and I literally costumed everybody out of the stuff that's in my storage unit. And I'm talking like bunny suits and clown costumes. Like it is crazy in my house. Have you ever seen the color scheme in The Stalker? No. Wow. Let me write that down. I literally am going to write that down and I'm going to look that up. Stalker. I'm going to wonder why Stalker is written in my phone later, just by the way. I will look that up. We should talk about that. I'm thinking if a good reference is Pleasantville, both before and after the color change, or, am I saying Yeah, Pleasantville. Yes. Andrew, absolutely. It's like a grumpier, darker version of the Shaggy Dog. There's so much we can do with the color for this film, especially for the late 60s era style. So true. Hi, Nikki. Hi, welcome. Yay, I'm so glad you're here. So, Nikki, you missed the announcement, but I'm doing a feature film with some of the lovely gentlemen that are in the chat, and it's a creature feature called Wolf Boy. Let me transition it to you real quick. Oh my God, we got to step it up for our costume. Yes. Stalker 1979. Thank you. I'll put it in 1979 so that I don't freak myself out later by looking up Stalker. Nikki, let me show you the poster. Boo-boo. And by the way, Nikki, what do you think of my new streaming setup? Look, I've got transitions and all the things. Figured some stuff out. So the creature feature, live action of the style of the Mystery Theater 3000, homage films to Boris Karloff and the werewolf films of that time. Hamster horror. Okay, let's go. Tony Rick, who is our writer and executive producer and co-director. Co-director, is that your guys' official title? Are you going with that? I think Andrew August is the director and Tony is the EP, but he's also the visual creative mind behind it too. Love it. Yes, I know. And Riley oh my God. I need help pronouncing her last name, but she's the one that did the art for the poster, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait. We will be filming. The production date is going to be next year. We haven't nailed down that the concrete time zone because that takes a lot of logistics in terms of locations and finalizing the shot list and then realistically building a schedule as to how much time we need and then coordinating with cast and crew as to where and when. But definitely in 2024, and probably we're looking at late spring, summer filming. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun. I'm already starting to think about camera bodies that we would need. And I already know that Demarest. Did I pronounce it correctly? Hi, Riley, by the way. Welcome. The amazing artist is here with us. Hang on. This is a beautiful poster. I can't stop looking at it. It's wonderful. It's just really cool. So I'm in love with this poster. Demarest. Sorry about if I mispronounced your name, Riley. I'm so sorry. I did my very best. I've read it so many times, but then I'm like, oh my God, how do I say it like verbally out loud? How do I pronounce it? Demarest. Anyway, you're wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing all the things, and you're gonna be at the party. So what's up? What's up? Yeah. So that's really it. Does anybody in chat want to throw in anything else about Wolf Boy and the timeline and the cast and crew? Tony, can't wait for the look of the monster. Oh my gosh, yes. And I love the black and white. Wolfman scared me as a kid. Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. We've been actually interviewing a few makeup artists, including some that like got Emmy nominations. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I don't want to drop any names because I am that fancy, but I won't do it. But we're talking to serious A-level professionals. In fact, the reason why we need to fundraise like we're going to, and we're doing Seed and Spark, because Indiegogo and Kickstarter have gotten a little bit too selfish. Who said that? And they take so much from creatives like us, and we're all still indie, you know, like broke. So like when somebody comes along and they're like, yay, 10%. And I'm like, oh, okay. But Seed and Spark actually cares about filmmakers to the point of like being very generous in terms of hosting fundraisers like this. So our fundraising budget is primarily going to be makeup. So Billy, you have every right to be excited. Sorry, John, you have every right to be excited about the Wolf Boy, because I've seen some demos. I've seen some stuff from the makeup artists that we're talking to. It is unreal. Like unreal. Like I'm looking at a photo and I can't. Like the pores of the skin are realistic. It is crazy what these people can do. And given that we'll be capturing it in at least 4K, it just has to, the more realistic the better. We're not skimping on the makeup. That's one thing that we're definitely not skimping on. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. Also, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited about this project. Okay, does anybody in the Wolf Boy team want to say one last thing before I move on to the next topic? Because I've got a couple more questions in the Q&A. Is the wolf going to be played by an actual person? Tony, do you want to tell him, or shall I? Yeah. Yes. To answer your question, yes. Tony is going to be the main character of the film. So he's going to be playing the Wolf Boy in the titular Wolf Boy is going to be played by Tony Rick. And I actually saw him in demo makeup from one of the people that we're talking to, and yeah, he looks good as a Wolf Boy. And in fact, that's one of the things at the party that we're throwing on the hi John wink. One of the things at the party that we're gonna do is have Tony there in Wolf Boy makeup, and he's already lamenting because he's gonna miss out on the amazing food that we're gonna have at the party. So he's like, he's already like, oh man, save me some food, okay? Because I won't be able to eat through all that makeup. But yeah, you'll be able to come and grab a photo with a very realistic looking wolf boy. Can't wait. Can't wait. So it's gonna be a very, very, very fun time. Yeah, right, John? Yeah, very exciting. I cannot wait. Just super excited to get this project rolling. And John, get ready to be scared again because it's going to get gross and hairy. Oh. It's so funny because usually like gory horror is not my thing. But I don't mind a little bit of gore, especially in the creature feature type that we're going to be doing. And I have worked primarily on horror shorts. Zombies, werewolves, well, mostly zombies, but some werewolves and like a lot of zombies, just so many zombies. And so, yeah, seeing gore and guts and talking to people about the consistency of fake blood, like these are conversations that I look forward to having again. It's going to be a lot of fun. And not only that, but I'm going to have to attune my color settings to capture all. No, I don't know. I could get all kinds of geeky. It's going to be great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the Wolf Boy team. Thank you for giving me the nod as the DP. I can't wait to stretch my camera capturing muscles here. American Werewolf in London scared me because of that transformation scene. Mm-hmm. I remember that. That was gruesome. That was really gruesome. We're going to be creating our own version of the transition scenes, but we'll see how that goes. Shot lists to come. Okay, moving on. I'm going to answer the next questions in chat, and me in chat and me in the slides. So I'm going to do the slides now. Yeah, I can't wait. Wolf Boy is going to be great. Next question. Thank you so much, Andrew. Me too. I'm very happy. I'm happy to be here, and I can't wait to work with all of you guys. Like, it's going to be a really fun time. I'm geeking out about this. Like, I go to sleep thinking about The Third Man and thinking about Citizen Kane. And I'm like, oh, that keyhole shot that we thought of. You guys. And D. Waller in The Howling. Ow! That's great. I'm going to look that one up too. The Howling? I actually didn't see that. D. Waller. I'm going to look that up. Okay. Next question came through. This is going to be switching topics now. How do you get the locations that you need? And this actually kind of ties into the Wolf Boy journey. Basically, the fact that you should be constantly scouting for cool places to film. Always, always, always. Cover the concerns about how to treat a location, how to deal with people who own or manage spaces, when to get permits, and when to steal locations, and so on. This is a very good topic. Thank you, Rob, for submitting this question, because, yeah, filmmakers always, always, always have trouble with locations. And the nice thing about working with nice people is that you kind of get to know a few locations, but you also get to know other people and their network of locations. I know actually I wanted to bring up, like, there's a little bit of selfishness sometimes when you're talking to a filmmaker that's worked really hard to gather a Rolodex of locations that they can go to. Sometimes they can get possessive about that because it took so much time to build that list of trusted sources. I remember asking somebody at a festival one time, like, that's a really wonderful location, XYZ. Where did you film there? And he says to me, oh, you want to hire me as a location scout? And I was like, I mean, I understand, but rude, you know? So I think a lot of the location stuff, because it's so hard to do, sometimes people don't know how to approach it when they're first starting out. So one thing that I want to say is start with your own neighborhood. Definitely keep a little Rolodex in mind. Is there a park that you know of? Talk to them. Is there a cafe that you frequent? Talk to them. Is there a friend that has a studio? Talk to them. And then you start, through your experiences as a filmmaker, you get a little bit of more exposure to places that you can use for free, places that you could use for cheap, places that you can rent out for XYZ hours, and so you can incorporate it into your scene, and try to write scripts that use the free resources as much as possible. But also, if you need to scout for a location that's further out, now you're talking about rental places. Now you're talking about professional places that want a contract, that want to set hour limits on you. And those are viable options as well, depending on the scope of the project that you're working on. You always do have to have, there's a runaway process in my head that's always churning in the background. And I'm like, I think I can rattle off right now. If I needed a stage, I could rattle off a couple locations off the top of my head. If I need a park, I know 3 or 4 different places locally that I could go to. If I need benches of a certain kind, like I've passed by XYZ benches, could I get a permit? Do I need a permit? If it's below, for smaller projects, you don't even need a permit, because legally you're allowed to. If you don't put if you don't put the tripod down, then you can film, and it's less than 10 people, then you can film without anybody's permission. It's always a good idea, though. I remember one time I was doing, when I did the project The Waiter, this was years ago, I sent out a business letter to the businesses in the area that I had scoped for locations. And I talked to the police department to let them know that a fight scene was going to be filmed there, and that they weren't, they weren't going to be alerted for, something that wasn't warned ahead of time, because we were going to be throwing punches and throwing kicks and hurling people into mats and things like that for the outdoor fight scenes. And I remember it being a pretty smooth transition. But it's always good to cover yourself in those areas, and it didn't cost me a dime because it was outdoors and I wasn't putting equipment down. And I wasn't filming interiors of any kind. When you're filming interiors, you need legal permission. You need it in writing. And when you're filming at somebody else's house, it's always good to get insurance. Even a small insurance plan can cover your butt. I remember I was working on one project where somebody dinged walls that had just been painted, and the renovation, if I didn't have insurance, that could have been an expensive fix. And so even the smallest insurance plan is a good idea. You want to invest in that. And I know that it's hard as a filmmaker to say, hey man, put your money forward towards this thing that you might not necessarily be able to afford. But if you can't afford it, don't shoot there. Because if something happens, guess what? You're going to be in a tougher spot than just covering the costs of the insurance plan itself. Like, you're talking orders of magnitude of different in terms of damage. And then the last thing that Rob mentioned was etiquette. Cover concerns about how to treat a location, how to deal with the people who own or manage the spaces. And etiquette, kindness goes such a long way. Remember that if you're shooting in somebody's home and they have a no shoes policy, please respect it. Don't throw an attitude about no shoes and how inconvenient it is to schlep gear back and forth. Yes, it is inconvenient. But you know what's more inconvenient? Having somebody leave scuff marks all over your freshly laid down floor, freshly clean floor. Like, when I know that you're putting down a film thing, but figure it out. Shoe changes at the doorway or something to keep casting crews safe, but also something to respect the space that has allowed you to spend hours, if not potentially days, there for your project. Whether or not you gave them a little bit of compensation, or whether or not they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, remember that this is somebody's home, and always treat it with the same kindness you want to be shown. If you have a no-shoes household, then treat other people's no-shoes households with respect. If you are invited to, do crafty in their kitchen, remember that that's somebody's kitchen. They have to live there. Don't leave garbage all over the place. Take the extra second to wipe up any mess that you made. Like, just be kind, be nice, be grateful for the place that you've been given. And I think that, especially when you're filmmaking, when you're under time crunch, when you're under deadline, there's a part of your brain that is in rush mode, and it's sometimes easy to forget your manners. Don't forget your manners, because it matters. It matters at the end of the day. The next day, when you're wrapping up, when you're putting your gear back in the box and all the things away, you're gonna think to yourself, "Oh man, I was rude in that moment. Now I feel bad." And also, it might leave a bad impression on the other people, because sometimes you may not know the person. Like, I had 2 friends who rented their space to a high production project. I think Amy Schumer was in this film. And so for an entire day, there was a giant crew that came in, replaced all the furniture, and they took photos of everything. They replaced all the furniture, and every single thing was knick-knack, paddywhack, put right back to the exact inch as it was left, and they cut my friends a check as a thank you, and they went on their merry way. They were in and out like drones, spotless. Everything was vacuumed up, everything was cleaned up, everything was hung back on the walls, pictures made sure, gratitude, and maybe see you again next time. We'll put you in our Rolodex again, and that's the ideal, right? That's also, easier with a professional setup when you have lots of people that you can throw at that problem. But just as an independent filmmaker, I know that it's tougher to do, but that's what you want to aspire to. That's the level that you're going for when you're dealing with locations, whether or not you're paying for them. Because you want also to keep those people in your Rolodex. And if you've treated their location poorly, whether they're the managers or the owners, they will remember that you treated their location poorly, and they won't want you back. Remember that too. So I think I covered Rob's question. Locations are always going to be tough. You sometimes have to drive to a place for several hours and then spend several hours there to even make sure that it's the right fit for you. Depending on the scope of your project, the nature of your project, you may want this section of the forest and not that section of the forest. You may want this style of cafe and not that style of cafe. And ultimately, you can say, oh, I can make this work. But then there are times when you're like, this project really needs XYZ for the story. Locations are always tricky. So I understand the nature of this question. Rob, thank you for submitting it. And I hope I answered it. Oh, and when to steal locations. Legally as much as you can. Small run-and-gun crews can get the job done. Make sure you have a gimbal. Don't put it on sticks. Keep your lights. That's the toughest part, especially at night. Lights are going to be the toughest get for you. That's it, really. It's one of those filmmaking problems that you have to figure out. Stealing locations, you just have to know the law so you understand where the limits are. Because if you've got something that needs you to put up lots of equipment and have lots of people to help you, you're going to need permits for that. And you can get them through certain city channels, maybe talk to somebody who's done it before so that you can get help if you need to, or figure out an alternative solution if you're an indie, two-man band or one-person band or whatever, and it's beyond your scope, then know your limits and don't film in a place like that. Okay, thank you again for that question. I am going to switch the slide. Next question by Heramias, or Heramias, I'm not sure. I hope I got close to the pronunciation. Thank you for submitting your question. Could it be worthwhile to discuss making do during the strike? How is it impacting the industry, and how are scabs perceived? Is that a thing still? Yes. Heramias. I'm Heramias, Heramias. I'm sure it's not Heramias, which is okay, anyway. To answer your question, yes, it's still a thing. And you know what we're experiencing right now? I will tell you right now. We are experiencing strike fatigue. That's what we're dealing with right now, because that's why the scabs are coming out and about so much now, even more so than before. Because before, of course, there were those, meanies that were saying, oh, I don't mind scabbing, ha ha ha. And they thought they were being funny, clever, different, whatever they were trying to do. And guess what? They're going to be remembered, and they're not going to get a lot of work after this. People in the WGA and SAG have been striking for a long time now. The WGA has been striking for months longer than SAG. They have been going hungry and jobless for months longer than SAG. But because the actors are now also in the same boat and they're striking together, now it's getting even more press attention. And now companies are starting to be more like, oh, okay, well, the actors, the people behind the camera don't matter as much as the people in front of the camera, because that's how it's perceived sometimes. They're like, oh, okay, who cares? We can get AI to write it. But you can't get AI to act every single thing out. And now they're starting to worry. Disney is starting to report losses. Netflix is starting to, pulled behind their collar, and the big companies are starting to really start feeling, because they have also got a backlog. They've got backlogs of projects that they've already up and paid for, that they haven't screened yet, that they haven't debuted yet. So they have like runway in a way that sometimes WGA members and SAG members don't have, because they're working sometimes hand to mouth, not even earning enough to get benefits from their respective unions, which is harsh. And it's always the poor people that kind of get trampled on first, while the rich people are like, yeah, I've got padding in the bank. It's fine. But it's unsustainable. And the fact that the strike is going strong and that people are not relenting is good, because it's going to make change. This is how we make change, and it takes a long time. But once those pockets on the top start thinning out, then they're going to start to want to bring people to the table to agree to solutions that should have been agreed to in the first place. Because I don't understand how you can sit on the top of a pile of money and not want to at least share with the people that helped you earn that part of that pile of money. I don't understand that mindset. It's very selfish. It's unforgivable, to be honest. Because the writers, they're the ones creating stuff. The actors, they're the ones creating and sharing part of their soul to make this happen. And don't forget the people behind the camera. Don't forget the people that are setting up the shots, the DPs out there, the sound recordists out there, the people in the editing bay. Every single person puts some of their spirit, some of their creative juices, all of their energy and time into making a project wonderful. And then you have one producer at the top who put in all this money, and then they're not sharing with the rest of the class. Come on. Like, seriously? So I'm glad that the strike is still going. And yes, people are still angry about it. I'm not in either union, but I'm, obviously supportive. But it's just, I'm mind boggled by the ideology of theft. Not even just lack of sharing and selfishness. It's theft at this point. Because now they're recruiting actors and not even disclosing to them, or they were trying to, not even disclosing to them that they were going to be scanned and recorded so that their image and likeness and sounds can be used without paying them in the future. Does that sound fair? Does that in any way sound fair, reasonable, kind, human? So yes, to answer your question, yes, it is still a thing. And yes, scabs are very much lambasted, and more of them probably will come to the woodwork. Like Drew Barrymore kerfuffle, and who else was recently? Today I read about, I don't know, some dude. I don't remember his name. But yeah, I mean, he just came out, I want to say like Mayer or Maher or something. I don't know. Yeah, they're not going to work again. And the people that are desperate for work continue to be desperate for work. And so that's why indie folks like me should try to include whatever SAG projects we can and WGA projects we can if we choose to hire a writer. Like, try to help if you can. If you're in the indie position and you can help, then do. People are literally like going without benefits, going without paychecks. And not only that, but going without the creative fulfillment of working on a team where they can get compensated, but also feel spiritually rewarded for creating something wonderful. Like, there are some really nice projects on Disney and Netflix and other companies like that. Like, they put out some nice work. Just pay the people for what they've done for you. I don't understand. I'm sorry. Is like one yacht not enough for you? I don't get it. Maybe that's why I'll be poor forever, because I'll just be giving everything away. But, okay. Heramias, I hope I answered your question. It is worthwhile to make stuff during the strike. So for you, last thing I'll say about it is the indie people like me. I'm non-union. I make all my stuff. I write most of my stuff. I like to act in my stuff. I like to create and collaborate with people who are either in the union or not in the union. I don't particularly care at this point. Like, it took me a long time to get past the SAG paperwork. But once they made it easier with like the low entry, low budget agreements, then it became a lot easier to engage union actors, which was the first step for me. And you can still make stuff during the strike if you're indie. You can still pitch things to studios that are indie. A24, even though they are, I mean, they tout to be like indie friendly and stuff like that. Check everything with them because they're very big, but they're also technically indie. So if you want to pitch to them, pitch to them. And if you want to make your own stuff, man, I'm making my own stuff all the time. I make my own stuff all the time, and I will continue to do so. And I'm going to broaden the scope of the actors that I hire to do that. Because, sorry, writers, but I write my own stuff, and I like to do my own stuff. But maybe some in the future, like writing opportunities might pop up as well. Especially like with like co-writing situations. Nikki, you're a writer. I'm going to work with you on something. You have strong comedy chops. I would want to. I can't wait to see what project you're next working on. You were telling me the other day. So anyway, that's my very big long spiel. Heramias, yes, the strike is still a thing. Yes, people are still hurting. Yes, Scabs are going to be lambasted from here until the ends of time because guess what? The internet has an infinite memory and people will remember the scabbers. People will remember the names that I can't remember because I can look it up on my phone right after this. And those people are not going to get jobs anymore because as brutal as it is to say, people can always go in a different direction and they will. There are lots of people that have already been like, canceled, as it were, for other reasons other than the strike. But guess what? Scabs, they're not going to get a lot of work after this. And so it's just not a good idea to offer to write anything for any of the big houses right now. It's not a good idea to walk in as a non-union actor and audition for anything else. And yeah. So that's what I got for you. Chat, I'm going to put you up here. Chat, you have been absolutely adorable and lovely today. Have I missed anything? I did my announcements. I got everything. Chat, you have been an absolute delight. Thank you, every single person, for joining us here, for playing with the Wolf Boy casting crew, for listening to the announcements. Nikki, hi. Yes, I can't wait. Yep, I can't wait to work with you on something. Check out Nikki Lowney's site as well. She's a wonderful actor and writer, and she has a script for sale right now too for like very, very, very modest fee. She's wonderful, and I really love her script. So that's all I got for you. I really want to appreciate you. How about auditioning for non-SAG roles? Yeah. Yes, Billy, you can absolutely audition for non-SAG roles. As a non-SAG actor. I mean, I'm non-SAG and sometimes I get casting auditions and you want to make sure, it's union and non-union friendly and that it's through a house that is, if it's an independent creator, most of the stuff that I see in terms of casting calls is for independent people that I know or have got, thank you very much, Andrew, or have contact before or at least can look up. Always look up who you're auditioning for so that you know whether or not they're trying to look for scabs. Billy, that's a really good question. Yes, you can absolutely audition for anything 10 ways under the sun. If they're paying you a reasonable rate and they're respecting your time and you like the sound of the role, go for it. Absolutely. Like, we want to keep creating things. And we just want to be cognizant of the fact that our unionized, more professional settings and everything else that are in the union machines, that those people are being respected, paid, and compensated fairly. And you as a non-union person, make sure to get what's fair for you. Because even though you're not in the same union that's protecting you, protect yourself. Remember to protect yourself. Like, don't walk into an audition and be like, okay, this will be set out on Sundance and blah and streaming and all this stuff. Talk to them. Don't be afraid to ask. Hey, are you putting this up on Tubi? You think we could talk percentages? So anyway, that's a little confusing. Yes. Yeah, I know it can get a little bit confusing. Just always look up who you're auditioning for. so you can get a sense for past projects and whether or not they're like one of the big, like a Disney subsidiary or something. Highly unlikely that we'll bump into that like in our little internal community in our beautiful fishbowl here. But still, always good to look up who you're auditioning for. I am so grateful to everybody in chat. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for playing along with me. I hope you like the setup. What do you guys think? I got lights. I got OBS. I got transitions. Look at this. And I'm going to hook up my Elgato so that it's even easier next time. So I just want to thank you all for being here and have a great, beautiful rest of the day. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.